Hi, I'm Greg King from Sterling High School in Sterling, Illinois. Today I'm here to talk to you about the Inside Belly Series, or Double Dive, for any offense. Okay, the Inside Belly Series. Why the Inside Belly Series, or as many people call it, the Double Dive? Number one for us, philosophically, it's a ball control offense. We want to have the football more than the other team. We feel if we can do that, we can keep the ball away from them and scoring. You also don't need one great back. Many times we are blessed with one great tailback or wing back, but a lot of times we're not. So what this will be able to do is we can divide the carries between different backs with faking and so forth. It's also very multi-formational, including the gun. Now, this past couple of years, we put it into the gun offense to make us more dimensional in the throwing game as well. And also can take advantage of the defense weaknesses. We're going to hit 3 different gaps on the defense all at one time. So we want to make sure that we can take advantage of the defense's weaknesses. And also this diversity, we think, leads to unpredictability. We can do different things at different times as we go through. We also look at it's very, very hard to prepare for. The opposition, a lot of teams don't do this, so the timing and quickness of this play, many times when the other team is running your offense for that week's preparation, it's going to be very difficult to do. So we think that's going to be to our advantage as well because of the timing and the quickness of the play. It is very series orientated. The different series that fit into this as well, and different plays will look the same to lead to that unpredictability. And as I said, it'll fit into most offenses, including the gun, so even spread teams can put this into their offensive arsenal. Backfield keys. There's some good backfield keys here that are keyed in running this offense in this series. Number one, all backs are going to be required to block. They don't have to be great blockers. Many times they just have to shield or get in the way of people. But we want backs to be able to not only run the ball hard, we want them to block and fake. We talk to our kids all the time how a good fake in this play is many times as good as 3 or 4 blocks. So our running backs have to be good blockers and good fakers. They have to be hard runners. We want that running back that wants to fight for that extra yard, fight for the extra 6 inches or whatever they can get. Because of the fact if they're hard fakers, we want them to fake like they're running the ball. And that's the way our running backs have to do this. Our quarterback needs to handle the ball. It is a two-handed handoff. We often talk about a third belly, okay? And that's where he's going to take that ball and he's going to seat it right back into his belly, his third hand into the seat there. It's going to be very important to prevent fumbles. So the backfield keys are going to be important. Running, blocking, and faking are all going to be emphasized in this play. Lineman keys. One of the things we want out of our linemen, we want them to knock them off the ball. We want to control the line of scrimmage, old Woody Hayes type philosophy. Let's knock them off. We want to be quick as we can. Our offensive line, we may not be the biggest. We're going to do a lot of man blocking, especially on the front side. We want to make sure that we're quick off the ball, get into the defense before they have time to react. Our cadence allows us to do that. You can fit this into any cadence and how you do it. We use ready, set, go, and really ready, set, go is all of one word, and our linemen are getting off on that R of the ready to be able to get off to the ball, be able to get into our opponent, and get the play off with good timing, good effectiveness. The philosophy of the inside belly is this. We want to make sure that we threaten the line of scrimmage at 3 points with speed and quickness. We want that defense to be able to have to stay home and protect their area of responsibility. We're going to be hitting the A gap, the C gap, and the D gap very quickly. So we want to make sure that A gap player is just that, an A gap player. That C gap player is a C gap player, not trying to get in anywhere else, as well as D gap. And also with that too, we want to make sure that the secondary stays back and plays their responsibilities as well. We really believe that in high school football, the inside linebacker is probably the position that the defense puts there really one of their best players. We want to make him a one gap player. We want to make sure he is going to the A gap. We don't want him coming out and getting into the C gap or the D gap and just going sideline to sideline. When you have a linebacker that can do that, really in any offense, you're going to be in trouble. So we really want to make sure that he is an A gap player, stays A gap, and allow us to do some of the different things we can. In order to do that, that means we have to establish our fullback. Our fullback is going to be primarily responsible for the A gap in our double diver inside belly series. At that point, when the linebacker is the A gap player, then many times what will happen is we'll give the ball to the second back in the C gap, okay, the off tackle hole. It's important that we get a nice push there, even if we're running the fullback. So we want to make sure that once that linebacker is set at the A gap, that we can get the second back to the C gap. When the primary contain players start coming up, many times what you'll see is corners or defensive ends or safeties sneaking down in the C gap to stop that second back through. Then that's when we're off to the quarterback keeping the ball on the outside. So we're having A gap, C gap, and D gap all hitting at the same time, and then we can make sure we do what we want to do depending on what the defense is doing to us. Many times what they'll do too is they'll start rotating secondary. Okay, if they want to rotate their secondary to motion or to the movement of the ball, then we also have some play action passes, including a bootleg, that will help that as well. So no matter if we're running what we call our belly 36, which is our fullback in the A gap, our belly 48, which is our wingback or tailback in the off tackle hole, or our quarterback, all of those plays must look identical to the defense. So it's important, when we talked about earlier, the faking. The fullback has got to make sure if he doesn't have the ball, he's running like he does have the ball. He's hitting that hole hard, he's breaking tackles. Our wingback, if he's not getting the ball, making sure that he's faking and running hard like he has the ball in his hands as well, and as well as the quarterback. If at any time these three decide they want to look to see what the other person's doing, it takes the effectiveness of the play. And it really takes the true teamwork of the game of football away as well. Techniques. Okay, techniques for our quarterback, first of all. What he has to do once he gets the snap under center, we'll talk about under center first. When he gets the ball under center, what his job is to do is to seat the ball right back into his third hand, which is the belly. All right, when he does that, he is going to take a step, his play side foot, he's going to open up at 180 degrees. Okay, he really wants to make sure and open up that back shoulder. So if he's coming out, he wants to make sure that back shoulder is opened up away from the fullback, because during that mesh, we don't want the fullback and the quarterback to hit in that area. So he's really got to open up that back shoulder. Now the ball, what he will do is he will take the ball from the snap, insert it into his stomach, and as the fullback's coming through from the mesh, he will insert it into the belly of the fullback. Okay, he'll take that ball from hip to hip. All right, so he's going from his backside hip, the quarterback's backside hip, to the front side hip of the fullback. All right, and if it goes to the second back, he will then reseat that ball back into that third hand. This is where we know through studies and so forth we've looked at, a lot of times if he leaves that ball out there, that ball will get knocked away, from a fullback's arm to a defender or whatever. So we want to make sure that he seats that ball right back into this belly. He will ride the fullback and ride the running back, the second back through into the line of scrimmage. And that's part of that, taking that ball from hip to hip, because what that defender sees, he sees that ball in there, he sees that ball moving. We want that defender, A-gap defender, C-gap defender, to step up into that hole and not be able to run sideline to sideline. The quarterback has to be patient, especially with young quarterbacks. They will try to get out to the edge as quick as they can. Okay? He's got to be patient. He's got to ride the fullback. He's got to ride the second back through, the wingback or tailback, and then once he gets there, he sprints to the corner. But he's got to be patient. Many times the younger quarterbacks, they want to get there right now. Can't do that. Got to stay with it. And then the final thing, as I said, the quarterback's got to sprint to the corner every time. Even if he gives the ball to the fullback, even if he gives the ball to the second back, he's got to sprint to the corner. That keeps the cornerbacks, the defensive backs, out of it. If those defensive backs start coming into the C gap and trying to stop the off tackle play, then he can hit to the corner. If he just sprints to the corner when he has the ball, it makes it very difficult to get a big play out of that. Our techniques for the quarterback and gun are very, very similar. We run our gun at the quarterback's heels are at 4 yards. His first step is with his play side foot. It's a 6-inch step. Just like in midline football, a quarterback is going to take a little 6-inch step with that play side foot. Then he's going to wheel his back foot around, getting his shoulders once again perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. Okay, that way his backside shoulder is out of the way. Fullback will not bother in the mesh point. Now we run this out of gun, we run this out of pistol. Pistol with the fullback lining up right behind the quarterback. Okay, and we'll talk about fullback footwork here in a second. But even out of gun, it is very easy to mesh this up. Get the ball to the backside hip for the mesh, hip to hip as the quarterback is going through. His feet, same thing when we talked about with the quarterback under center. What the footwork we're looking for is a step back, step with, step away with the under center. In gun, what we want to talk about is step down, step with, step away. It's kind of like a little dance step. So under center, we talk about step back, step with, step away. In gun, it's step down, step with, step away. Technique for our fullback. Okay, our fullback is going to take a short 45-degree step with his play side foot. He is going to attack then the hole, the A gap, with his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. His shoulders should be down and his head should be up. Okay, we want to make sure that we're not showing the defense our numbers at all. We want them just to see our shoulder pads and our eyes. We want the inside arm up. Okay, so if the quarterback is if we're going to the left here, our right arm would be up, and we want that thumb pointed down. We want that thumb down, and that keeps that elbow out of the mesh area. Many times if the fullback has a lazy arm and so forth, the elbow will knock the ball out of the quarterback's hands and you get a fumble. So what we tell our quarterbacks is to make sure that when they're talking to that fullback, make sure that thumb is down, okay, and that brings that elbow up and it gives the quarterback a nice pocket to work through. The big thing for the fullback too is when we tell him to hit the A gap, while he is in the mesh, we don't want him to bend the play back. Many times you get a fullback, and we've had many of them that will hit the hole and they see the cutback lane because defenses will over pursue one way. We want that the fullback during the mesh, he has got to make sure he is going straight ahead. Once the quarterback has disengaged, he can cut it back anywhere he wants. But when the quarterback is in the mesh with him, he cannot cut it back. Otherwise, if we're trying to get to the second back, the quarterback can't get the ball out and he can't get to the second back for the play. So A gap until the quarterback is out of the mesh. The running backs, wing backs and tailbacks. They're in different sets, we'll do different things. If they're in a regular back set, in other words, not in a wing where they do not have to motion, what they're going to do is take a short lead step with the play side foot, run parallel to the line of scrimmage until they're even with the fullback alignment. Once they're even with the fullback alignment, they're going to angle to the hole using the tail of the tackle as his aiming point. Okay, so they're going to aim for that tail of the tackle right off the edge there. He's going to square his shoulders. He's going to run over the ball with his inside arm up, thumb down. Once again, get that thumb down, open up that pocket for the quarterback. We will most of the time, we will motion. And how we do this, it's really the same thing. The quarterback will snap the ball when he's into his third step of motion. Everything else is the same. He's aiming for the edge of the butt of the fullback. Once he gets there, he's aiming right for the tail of the tackle. We do a lot of timing with this. After a few times, the quarterback will get that step back, step with, step away, and it works perfectly in that mesh. So when that quarterback is putting that guy in motion, it makes it that much quicker to hit the hole. The play side back, the back to the play, his job will be blocking. He'll block first threat, and we'll get into blocking schemes here in a little bit. Okay, our plays. The plays for the inside belly series. To the left, you'll hear me talk about belly 36. That's the fullback, the 3-back getting the ball in the 6 hole. Belly 48, the wing back getting the ball, the number 4-back getting the ball to the 8 hole, and then the 19 keep, the quarterback sprinting to the left. To the right, it is a mirrored play. So we will run belly 34 Okay, the 4 hole is the A gap to the right, belly 22, 2 back getting the ball into the 2 hole, and then the 11 keep, the quarterback keeping the ball to the wide right. You know, as I said, this is a mirrored play. We will run inside belly to the right, we will run inside belly to the left. We can run them out of under center, we can run them out of gun, we can run them out of pistol. So as I said before, it is multi-formational. Okay, blocking schemes. Our number one blocking scheme that we use in the double dive series for the 2 and 8 hole, which is the off tackle, we use many different ones, but the number one we use is what we just call 1-2. And what happens here is that the offensive tackle will take the number 2 man, the offensive tight end on that side, he will always take the number 1 guy. They just point them out. We do this every play, so they don't know when the play is coming and so forth. And if we're running a bootleg off of it, or we're running the fullback off of it, we will always do that. We will call it 1-2. Tight end taking number 1, tackle taking number 2. If we were playing a 5-2 defense, the 1-2 scheme is really what we would use. If we're playing a 4-4 team that uses a 7 technique, inside shoulder the tight end and an overhang outside linebacker, the next scheme we would use would be 1-2 out. Anytime we say the word out, that means that the running back is going in. So if it's 1-2 out, running back knows he's going in. Later on, we'll talk about a scheme where we call in, the running back will go out. So we use a 1-2 out scheme. What happens is our offensive tight end will take a 45-degree step, take that outside linebacker, and you take him on a train track. The offensive tackle will take the defensive end to his side and do the same thing. Take him on a 45-degree angle, widening the hole, and allows our running back to come underneath and get the linebacker. Many times we will face a stunting team. In a stunting team, what they will do many times is they'll try to outman us, they'll outnumber us. They'll have 3 guys between our basically in our tackle and tight end gaps. A B gap, C gap, and D gap. Well, we're outnumbered. So what we do is we make a gap call or a chop call or a down call. And what this does, it takes us out of a man blocking scheme and puts us into a zone or area blocking scheme. And when we call that, the tackle will take the B gap, tight end will take the C gap, the running back will come off the edge and take whoever's responsible for D. Nothing else changes, for anybody else. The running backs are still hitting the holes that they're assigned to, and we're still going full speed ahead. Many times what we'll do too is if the defensive end is a very good defensive end and it gives us, they have an advantage in our 2 and 8 holes, another scheme we'll employ is what we call guard pull. And all we'll do is we'll call belly 48 guard pull, as simple as that. And what happens now is the tackle and tight end will use a double team combination to that inside linebacker. What they're going to do is they're going to double team that 5 technique or whoever the C gap defender is. They'll take him and double team him out of there, working their way to the inside linebacker. And now we'll use our offensive guard to pull out and widen the hole that way on the defensive end. It's important too that our running back goes outside the D gap to the linebacker to the free safety. If he goes through the hole, many times what you'll see is a collision there between your guard and your running back, which is not what you want. So we make sure that he goes outside the hole, the C gap, in that particular scheme. Many times what we will see as well is a 1-2 in scheme. And this is where the running back, the tight end, and the offensive tackle all are covered. Okay, so they've got a C gap defender right over the tackle. They've got a D gap defender, and many times what they'll do is they'll walk a corner or somebody else, an outside safety. They'll walk him over the running back. What we'll employ then is a 1-2 in scheme. As I said earlier, when we call 1-2 in, that means the running back goes out. Another scheme we will use is what we call double out. Using the term out very simply means the running back will go in. What we will do here is many times if a 7 technique has an overhang player that's out of a 2x2 area, where it's 2 yards outside and 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, if there's a defender overhang player that is outside of that, we will use a double out scheme where the offensive tackle and the tight end on that side will double team that guy to the overhang player. Running back then will hit to the inside gap. The other part of the play, the fullback play, belly 36, belly 34. Pretty simple. All right, it's just man-on-man blocking. It's the old Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, let's get after it type of football. As I said, even if in a gun offense, this works very well as well. On the belly 36 and belly 34 play, if it's a 5-2 defense, everybody's going to have their man. Center's going to have the nose guard. Guards are going to have the linebackers as well. And what we will do, the tackles to that play side, we will just rip inside as hard as we can. Okay, trying to cut off that B gap, because a lot of times what we'll see is we'll see defensive tackles slamming down hard into that B gap. And what will happen is that person will make the play. So we really teach our offensive tackles to rip inside as hard as we can to make sure that they cut that off. And what it really does, it gets us another guy, leading that fullback through the hole as well. The belly 36, belly 34 fullback play, when we're facing a 4-4 defense or a stacked defense, can many times cause a problems because of the fact that they have 4 guys compared to our 3. Also in today's defenses, when you see the 3-3 stack, many times there will be 4 defenders on 3. So what we employ is what we call a flow scheme. We will block the 3 most eligible people to make that play. So if we're running our fullback play to the left, a belly 36, the front side guard will block man on. The center, who is uncovered, he will inside release to that play side linebacker. If he has to help double team, with the left guard, he will do that. And the flow comes from the backside guard, the right guard in this case. He is going to rip through, and he is going to block the person responsible for the A gap on the backside. If it's a 2-eye technique, in other words, he's got a guy on the inside, he is going to rip through, cut the guy, scramble blocking, whatever he has to do to keep him out of that play. If it's the linebacker that's going to be responsible, he's going to dip and rip, much like a veer scheme, veer teams would use, and he's going to hop on to that linebacker right there. The inside belly series, out of the gun or the pistol look. Pistol look where the fullback is right behind the quarterback. Gun look, he's offset one way. The fullback is offset one way or the other to the quarterback. What we will do here, the fullback will then be at 6 yards. If he's in pistol, he'll be at about 5.5 if he's in gun. We always keep our running backs, and even if the gun, we keep them down in a stance for a particular reason. We want them hitting that hole 100 miles an hour. We want them going fast as they can to the hole. One of the things we have found out, whether it's the fullback play, whether it's a second back through play out of the belly offense with the pistol or gun, is that it allows for a lot of cutbacks. The fullback can hit the hole, cut it back easier because he's got a better vision. Same way with the wing or the tailback. When they're hitting the hole on the belly, it's a lot easier to cut it back, okay, and to make a big play out of it. And one of the other schemes that we don't use but many teams have is, if you're a spread team, is they use a lot of inside zone techniques where they're going to zone technique to the play side. In the double dive inside belly offense makes it very easy to do that as well. You can double team to the overhang players like we do. Backside, same thing. Backside scooping and backside power slipping on the backside is perfect, and it fits right into your offensive scheme. Okay, in our double wing set, which we will run a lot, our basic splits between the guard and center are 2 feet. Our splits between guard and tackle tight end are going to be 3 feet. Okay. From the tight end, this would be our wing back, our tailback, which is number 2, and our wing back, which is our 4 back here, which is covered in a previous slide. They will be 1 by 1 from the tight end. They'll be able to touch that tight end's butt almost to do that. And that'll allow him to be able to come inside or get to the outside depending on the play. Our plays to the left here. Okay. We said our fullback is number 3 and our quarterback is number 1. Our plays to the left are belly 36. We want to hit the A gap to this side. Belly 48 which is a C gap to this side, or 19 keep, which is the quarterback hitting the D gap that way. We want to hit this as quick as we can. Remember, we talked about how we want that linebacker on this side to be an A-gap defender as much as possible. So he's got to see the shoulders and the eyes of that fullback, and that's it. We can't let him see the fullback. We've got to be a great faking team. The four-back in this double wing set, we said, if he was going to run Billy 48, is going to take 3 steps. He's aiming for the tail of the fullback as fast as he can. Okay, quarterback executing his footwork, and he is going to be running that Billy 48 right into this hole. Okay, fullback we said was here. And then the quarterback is going to execute his footwork, okay, and sprint to the corner. So the plays to the left in this series are Belly 36, Belly 48, 19 keep, and we can run the same thing the other way. Belly 34, Belly 22, and 11 keep. Okay, another formation we can run these same plays out of is out of a gun or a pistol formation. In this case, we've got a split end here, which we would just call that this would be a flex pistol for us. We're always going to be in a double wing set. Okay, this guy actually is up a little closer here as if a tight end were there. And we can run the same play. Flex pistol, Belly 48. Now the difference is now our quarterback is in a shotgun set. His heels are at 4 yards. Okay, so we're not a traditional 5, 7, 8 yard back. We're at 4 yards for the stuff that we want to be able to do. Fullback is lined up with his hands down at 6 yards. Okay, snap of the ball, he's got to attack the A gap. So when the snap of the ball, he's going to take a step with his left foot, and he's going to attack that A gap, and everything is pretty much the same. The motion back is now going to aim for his hands, okay, and he'll be able to hit that gap as well. And as I said, we want to attack the A gap, the C gap, and the D gap all at one time. Another formation that we'll use is we'll call it deuce. Okay, in this case, we'll have a deuce left. Whenever we call deuce, our backs are still going to stay in the same order. This would be our 4-back. This would be our 3-back. This would continue to be our 2-back. Okay, it allows us to do some type of zone reads if we want to, but also incorporates very, very well into our inside belly series. And in this case, now the fullback is really outside of that guard. So his first step now is still got to take him to that A gap. So he's coming more to diagonal. And as we talked about, just like in the pistol, this quarterback is at 4, and the running backs are probably closer, in this case, to about 5.5 yards back. And he's coming an angle here. Quarterback will ride him, get to the outside, because this back now on the snap of the ball is executing the same footwork. Here to the 8-hole, and we're off. Okay, so the same play of different formations under center, in gun, can be incorporated into the offense. Okay, Belly 36. Okay, the fullback. Very easy to block. It's just man on man, as we talked about before. What's going to happen? Center's going to take his guy. Guard's going to take his linebacker, and the tackle is going to rip hard to the inside. Okay, we want to prevent this guy from slanting across our face. We never want anybody to cross our face if ever we can. Okay, and everybody else is going to be getting downfield and getting into their blocks then. Okay, pretty simple this way. Where it comes into a little more difficulty is when they got us outmanned, and that's what we'll go to next, is the Belly 36 compared with a 4-4 front. Okay, the Belly 36 versus a 4-4 front. We want to run the ball in this A gap here, but they really have 4 defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4 against our 3. So we've got to be able to get an extra guy in there or only block 3 of the guys, and that's what we'll do. And we call this a flow block. If we're running Belly 36 this way, we're going to have motion or the plays coming this way, the defenders we're going to block first that we think are the biggest threat to make the play are defender 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So what's going to happen? Our play side guard is going to knock into him. He's going to drive him off of the ball. Our center is going to take an inside step. Okay, in case this guy is going to slam in real hard here. If it does, we can have a double team there. And he is going to work to the second level linebacker. All right, so our center is going to come hard to play side. So we've got this sealed. The flow comes in on our back side here. our backside guard is going to release inside and work his way to this linebacker. Now, if this defender were to cross his face, he would take him. But he's going to try to rip that backside shoulder to get to that linebacker. Now, if this guy was inside him right there, two things we could do. One, we could have a short, quick double team to allow this guy to get here. But more than likely, what we're going to teach this guy is to scoop him right in there, get into his legs, crawl, bear crawl, do whatever he can to prevent this guy from hitting our fullback as he's coming through. Backside tackle, we're going to try to reach and run. We're going to try to reach and run here, get to the inside, and we're going to try to get as much movement in the middle of the football field as we can. A second area where you're going to see a flow block executed on a belly 36 or a fullback give is in today's 3-3 stack defenses. Okay? When now your stack is over here. Now, here is where we got the problem. They've got 4 on our 3. Okay? So it's just the opposite now. If we're going to run belly 36, our fullback hitting hard right in this area, then now the center has got the nose. Now the play side guard is going to come down, help to that middle backer. Now our tackle is the flow guy. He has got to make sure he's trying to work to that inside backer. Once again, if the tackle crosses his face, he'll take him, but he's trying to dip and rip and get in the side. And because we all know the 3-3 defense, they're trying to move different people in and out of this area, he is now the flow guy. Okay, we just went through the belly 36 blocking schemes. Pretty simple. Same thing here with the second back through. In this case, belly 48, where our 4-back is going to get the ball in the off-tackle hole. Our first scheme that we always start with is just simply a 1-2 scheme. We tell our tight end, you have number 1 on the line of scrimmage. Okay, or he could be backed off maybe depending on what the front is. But in this 5-2 cover 2 defense, we'll start off here. Tight end has number 1. That's a defensive end. So he's going to execute a drive block into him. Okay. Tackle, he's got number 2. There's number 2 right there. Okay. He is going to execute a drive block into him. Now, if this tackle were the inside, he'd be number 2 still. That's his man. He's the second guy down. All right. So tackle, tight end, drive blocking here. Running back, his job is to think linebacker to safety first threat. Okay. Offensive guard, he's coming out here. But we said this is usually the defensive best player, so we want to make sure we get an extra guy on him. If that guard can get to him, great. Okay? But this running back is coming through and leading through the hole. He is thinking linebacker to safety. If that guard picks up the linebacker, now we get a guy on the safety right now. As we said, the play hits the A, C, and D gaps as quick as we can. We need this fullback to execute a block. Now what's his block? His block is a great fake. If he's not getting the ball, he's got to pretend like he has the ball. Okay? Second back through. He has got to make sure when we're running belly 36, he has got a great fake. Because we said a great fake can be 3 different blocks or 4 different blocks on one play. Quarterback's going to execute his footwork, step back, step with, step away, sprint to the corner. By this quarterback sprinting, it could keep this cornerback out of the mix in the 2-1-8 hole. If the cornerback jogs, it allows him to get inside here, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, so that's our first blocking scheme. 1-2. Tight end's got number 1. Tackle's got number 2. Running back in on linebacker to first threat. The next scheme we'll teach is a 1-2 out scheme, which many times you'll see in the 4-4 defense. And here I've got it shown against our pistol formation. You know, the formation doesn't change the blocking scheme. All right? In this case, we've designated this guy as number 1 and this guy is number 2. Okay? Still a 1-2 blocking scheme, but it's going to be an out call. It's a fan block, and we want to make sure that our running back recognizes that it's a 1-2 out. We'll make that call. And what we will do is we will decide where this defender is. Okay? We use a 2-by-2 rule. If that defender is within a 2-by-2 area of that tight end, we will call 1-2 out. Okay? 1-2 out sends running back inside. We said this is a fan block. Tight end executes his technique here. The offensive lineman now, the offensive tackle, we talk about first step, getting you in position to block. If he takes his first step upfield, we're going to get beat real easy. His first step has got to be at the inside number with his left foot of that defensive end. And what he's trying to do, we talk about a train track. We want him getting vertical movement on that train track this way to widen the hole. Our running back then will come to the inside of that, block linebacker. Guard's got a tough block, especially if that guy is a 3 technique. He's got to make sure he gets into that 3 technique, okay, and executes a good block there. Fullback, how he can help that guard out is with a great fake in here, okay. Backside, we do a lot of zone blocking. We will scoop the backside hard, we'll reach and run, okay, and looking for the guys to get downfield to get that big block on the safety or corner to help us out. But this is a 1-2 out scheme. Coming right with the 1-2 out scheme is, what if this defender right here is backed off? He's off the line of scrimmage. He's out of this 2-by-2 area. Let's say he's 3 yards and 4 yards off. 3 yards outside the tight end, 4 yards off. Then what we will do is we will change that 1-2 out to a double out. Now, out means the running back is going in. Nothing is going to change it. The only thing that's going to change is between these two guys. Instead of that tight end releasing right now on that backer who's not a threat in the 8-hole, okay, he's not a threat in this area right through here, we will double team this right here. Okay, these two will get vertical movement. Now, once this guy starts coming up, now the tight end, once they get movement, he can come back off on him. Okay, and he can make that right there. So the double out is when this guy, that overhang player, is outside of that 2-by-2 area. Double team to the outside, he comes inside. Our next scheme that we'll use to try to open up the 2 and 8 hole for us is what we call a chop, a gap, or a down scheme. Usually we're a man-to-man team. We're blocking man-to-man on the front side. You can zone block, especially if you're going to use a lot of the guns principles which we do use. But what we're going to do is when we're outnumbered in an area, we're going to call chop, we're going to call gap, we're going to call down. And what that does, it turns it into an area block. Some of the things that people have done to us in the past to try to get extra guys up here is one of the things, especially on motion, they'll take the safety and they'll see him, they'll walk him up, and they'll try to get him up into the line of scrimmage on the snap of the ball. Well, now we're outmanned. Okay? They've got 3 guys to our 2. So what we'll do is we'll make, a lot of times in the huddle or even on the line of scrimmage, we'll make a call that will turn it now into a zone scheme. And what will happen is when we make this call, okay, let's just take the safety and let's just move him right up here because we know he's coming. And once we have this call, we're going to stay with it no matter what. This tackle comes inside. This tackle now blocks to the inside. He made the chop call. He's blocking to the inside. Tight end now going to block whatever comes to his inside. Okay? So he's going to block that safety. Now, it's the running back's job to block the first guy outside the end when we call this, if it's a chop, gap, or down scheme. His job is to read this end. If this end wants to come down hard, he'll take this end, he'll block him down. Running back will get the ball, be able to bounce it outside. All right? Many times what we see is this guy is being a contained guy. He's watching this guy. This back will be able to get inside of him and just shield him. And now here is our seam that we're looking for right there to be able to run this second back through right there. A lot of times short yardage situations, goal line, this is what you'll see. The next blocking scheme that we'll use a lot, and it can be used in a lot of different defenses. Here I have it showing up against a 5-2 cover 2, is what we just call guard pull, or G, 48G, 48 guard pull, however you want to call it. Okay? And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the guard. He's going to block whoever's responsible for C gap, or actually for D gap. Okay? So what we're going to work here is we're going to work a double team right here between these guys. These two, tackle, tight end, and tackle, they have this tackle to this linebacker. Okay? We're going to pull this guard out, and he is going to kick out that defensive end. So we're getting movement this way with these two guys as well. Fullback going to come in here, and we want that fullback to help contain that guy right there. If this is a team that reads guards and that guard pulls out, you're going to see him getting out of there. What we also will do, because maybe we can't get the movement we need to be able to come off on here, this running back now comes, as we talked about, outside the hole. He's not going through the hole now. On guard pull, he's got to go outside the hole, and he's got to seal that end right there. You'll see a lot of teams use this same scheme with their fullback in the outside belly series, hitting to the C gap as well. Okay? Another way that we can get the ball out here with a different scheme, very easy to teach, fits into a lot of our other schemes as well. Another scheme that we'll use many times, depending on the scheme of the defense, is a 1-2 in call. Now, here I have it showing up to where the tackle, the end, and the running back are all covered. Now, here I have with a corner walked up in a 5-2. It very could well be, a form of an even front as well. But whatever it is, we've got these three guys covered, okay? And we feel that our guard doesn't need any help on this linebacker. He can pretty much take that linebacker by himself. We'll call a 1-2 in call. Means these two guys have 1-2 in, okay? And a lot of times what you see when this corner's walked up here is they're going to do this type of a stunt. And we got to make sure we cut that off. Okay, that tackle's got to execute a great block, not allowing penetration in here. Same way with the end. Well, the 1-2 in call, anytime we have a word in, that means the running back goes out. Now he's blocking out on that corner. He's trying to get movement vertical this way, and what it does is allows our running back to hit the hole right here. Now, if this end crosses face, he's got to take him inside and get movement, and he can get to the outside. That's one of the things we found well in the gun, too, is with the gun, it allows that running back, he's back from the line of scrimmage just a little bit more, and he's able to hit that hole inside and outside to be able to make his cut where the hole is. Where if we were under center, he's pretty much limited to that right area right there. The third play in the belly series is the quarterback keep. Now, we will change the scheme up a little bit, all right? But what we talked about is how do people try stopping us? Okay, one of the things they try to do to stop that off-tackle hole is they will try to bring somebody else in there to help out. Whether it's a corner coming in, whether it's a safety filling, or whatever. Sometimes they'll try to bring a linebacker looping out this way. Well, once the safety and the corners start filling in, then we'll go to the third section of the play, which is the 19 keep. Okay, as I said, it's got to look just like everything else. Okay? It's got to look like belly 36. He's got to have a great fake. Belly 48, he's got to have a great fake. Now, we will still, instead of being, an 8-hole conscious here, he is going to now go out and block with his right shoulder. He wants the guy to come to the inside now. So he's going to drive blocking. A lot of times with young kids, they'll try that position block. We don't want that. We want to make it feel like it's going to be belly 48. Get your right shoulder into him this time. Let him come to the inside. He's here as well. Now, the only change up we make besides that is instead of the running back going through the hole, we take him to the outside on that corner. So if that corner makes a false step to the inside or comes inside to stop that play, we now have position on him, and our quarterback can get outside to the outside alley. A good fake will bring him up in here, and we've got many, many big plays out of this play here with a quarterback keeping to the outside because of great fakes in here as well. And we'll take some clips of all these, and you can see how they're executed in a game-type situation. All right, inside belly series versus a 3-3 stack. Pretty much we're going to use our same rules that we normally use. Okay? First thing we'll start out doing, we'll still try to block it 1-2. We'll treat this guy as 1. Okay? This guy is 2. Running back coming inside, blocking that inside linebacker. We'll down team here or double team to him right there, whatever we have to do on there if we're doing a lot of blitzing in here and so forth. So we'll block it just like this. 1-2, he's coming into the inside backer just like that. Now, what we can also do, because we run the 3-3-2, and these players normally don't stay right where they're aligned. So what we will do, we can also go double in or 1-2 in, whichever one we want to do. Okay, if we call in, okay, if it is an in block, that means the running back is going out. So let's say we call 1-2 in. We're going to treat this guy as 1, this guy as 2. We're here, and he blocks on the outside. We get the same effect. Okay, but you got to remember too, this guy's taught, once that tight end releases inside, he's supposed to crash. So this running back is either got to work hard to get inside to keep him out of that 8-hole, or if he's really on the line of scrimmage and crashing, then we just take him down to the inside. Okay, and then the back can break it to the outside. So now we can call it 1-2 in, or the same thing, we can call it double in. You two guys have these two. You can work depending if this guy comes to the inside, now he comes off and he takes it right there. So in call, these two guys, tackle and tight end, are responsible for these two. Running back's responsible for the outside guy. Okay, here we go. This is a rip formation for us. We're unbalanced down here to the bottom of the screen. We're going to run belly 22 against a 6-3. Corner comes flying up, gets caught in the inside. We hit the fullback right there is where we're looking at it, belly 34. Okay, this particular team here is in a 4-3, or actually a 4-4. They walk the guys up right in here, and we're going to hit the fullback right over there. He cuts it back on a nice little cutback play on a belly 36. Okay, not a great fake that time by our running back, but still we got inside release, point of attack, got the ball to the inside. Here you're going to see our fullback breaking out right at the end. He hits the hole nice and hard, breaks out to the outside, gets some nice yardage out of it. Good fake by the quarterback and running back there to open it up for us. Now this is just a little different. This is kind of a misdirection one, and we get a nice double team right there at the point of attack that allows our fullback to cut it back for a long yardage one. When they overplay it in a cross motion like that, it can open it up as well. Here's a fullback also. This fullback we had was pretty good. He'd hit the hole, and then when they over pursued, he would cut it back across the grain, and many times safety will take themselves right out of the play, opens it up for a big gain. Against over pursuing defense, if you got a fullback that really cut that back, you can get some big plays off of it. You got to remember the fullback can't cut that back until he's through the mesh. Unbalanced formation here. What unbalanced formations do is they pull the corner out of the play and allows our second back through not to have to worry about him. So we'll do a lot of unbalanced, rip to the right, Liz to the left. And on this particular game against this team, they're in a 6-3. And if we left them in there, that corner would come up in there and allow us to break some runs to the outside. Nice downfield block that allows us to break one for the big play. Here we're going to the short side with an unbalanced formation at the top. Able to hit it. We caved everything down to the outside. Good stock block on the outside, which we talk about. Good block by the running back going through. Allow us to get to the outside, get a big play in a playoff game. That was a big key play there. Okay. Here's another unbalanced formation. This is rip, and we're in a right formation, so the running back's back in the backfield. Right to the hold on, nothing changes. He's still aiming for the fullback's butt to the tailback, or excuse me, to the tackle's butt. Same path. Here's against a different defense. Okay, here we got a corner walking up late. We're going to block it. Just a 1-2 in scheme. The tailback there just kicked out the corner, and we were able to get to the outside. Here's out of gun. All right, this is actually pistol, belly 22. Okay. Get a good movement off the line of scrimmage. I'll have a double wing formation. Fullback going hard. Second back through full speed. Opens up there and get a nice gain off of it. Here you're going to see, if you have a good running back, 22 here, is going to hit a nice cutback. When they over pursue, he gets into the hole. Hits the hole, finds a nice cutback. We've got it sealed off on the backside, in untouched against a very good team. Just because they over-pursued, used their movement against them. Here you're going to see our running back. We're going to run a 48 to the outside here. The running back does a nice job kicking out. Get out here. We talk about our running backs, being aggressive and nice stiff arm right there. So our running backs using some of the techniques that they're taught in the game. Okay, belly 48 against this defense, nice movement up the field. And see, that's one of the things we're looking for is a good first down play. Belly 22, cave it down, nice. Running back makes a nice cutback. If you get running backs with good cutback ability, especially in the gun, it can be a tremendous help. Okay, this team was a 4-3 team, played a lot of man. Okay, go in motion, boom, right there, over pursue. Okay, they come too far to the outside, you can hit it up inside of them. Here's another big cutback play. We're in a tight rip because of the man-to-man. He comes down on the safety, running back breaks it out, gone. Okay, a lot of times, like I said, if they're in man-to-man, if they want to rotate over and come over, that's leaving their backside vulnerable. We can come back on it. Okay, 4-3, middle linebacker walks up, corner sitting outside here, safety back, coming up, kick out, seal everything down. Now you're one-on-one with a defensive back. Defensive back makes a nice play, but we got a nice big gain out of it just by sealing everything down. Okay, belly 22, the outside. What happens when the corner comes in too far, running back can bounce it out to the outside, hit the big play as well. Okay, unbalanced formation into top. We're going to run it to the right here. Hit the hole hard. This is the 11 keep now, the third level of it. Big first down right there. Fullback, tailback, quarterback, all got to be faking hard. Okay, here we're in a pistol formation. Belly 48, pistol belly 48. Good fake. Safety came in on a fullback, ran right by him. So like I said, gun formations, spread formations, any team can add the double dive or inside belly series to their offensive arsenal. Here we got a pistol. Pistol, we're going to run belly 48 right there. Right there. Corner come flying in again. Big play, touchdown. Okay, belly 48, hit it full speed, break the big play. First play of a game. A lot of times, sometimes we'll set up with a fullback, sometimes we'll give it to second back. We've actually have plays where we start off the game with the 19 keep with the quarterback running and had some big successful plays with it. Here's another instance. We're in a right formation. We're going to run 22. He's going to hit it hard. What we really like about this is the way we finish runs. Right there. Nice run by that young man. Gets us down to a nice play. Here's another example of a right formation. Running back hitting the hole, getting into the hole, cutting it back. Good downfield blocking. We call that touchdown alley. Those backside ends and tackles coming down, they're the ones that make that alley for us to be able to hit the big plays. Here's out of a pistol formation again. Belly 22, hit the hole hard. He's able to make his cuts where he needs to make them. Pistol formation. This time's a pistol left, and we're going to run it the other way. Just like if he's in a regular back set, hits the hole nice and hard, nice low run, gets the chains moving. Okay, third part of this is a 19 keep. Quarterback fakes, not a real good fake to the second one. Didn't need to be. You got a quarterback with speed, that's one of the things you can't teach. If you have a quarterback that can really fly, it makes things a lot easier. Like I said, when they start filling in from the outside in, having corners and safeties filling the 2 and 8 hole, that 19 keep is going to be a big play for you. Here's a keep going to the right here out of the pistol formation. Pistol left. Quarterback makes it nice. He's able to bounce and get outside, get up, and get a nice first down play. This was the first play of a game. We run a 19 keep. Watch the fakes out here. Watch the corner. Watch the safeties filling in. Running back to the outside. Safety came up and took the wing back. Quarterback, first play of the game, 80 yards because of great fakes by the fullback and a great fake by the wing back in a big conference game. Okay. Watch the outside guys come flying in. A little hesitation by the outside linebacker. We don't even block him. Quarterback to the outside. Okay, once again, watch the outside fill out here. Watch people come in from the outside, coming in hard. Quarterback's able to bounce it out to the outside and get some nice yardage down the sideline. Thank you for watching this video on the Inside Belly Series or Double Dive. It's been my privilege, to work with Coach's Choice to make this video, and to all the coaches that I've worked with in the past that have taught me the techniques and the schemes for the Inside Belly Double Dive Series, I thank you as well.